Welcome to the Antonio Talks talk show. Today I am honoured to have a close friend on the show and also an absolute sick legend at business, or so it seems from the perception of what you're doing on LinkedIn. I've got Ryan McCabe from Odro, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
Thanks very much.
How's it going?
Good.
How was the trek from Scotland?
Just like any other day.
Did you come down there? Move closer to the microphone also. Did you come down from Scotland today?
4 o'clock this morning.
4 o'clock?
When I got up, so I got 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock from Glasgow. Yeah,
how much travelling are you doing?
All the time, so much travelling.
Really?
It's alright, like it's good because we're travelling because we're doing well. We're travelling to meet clients or train clients or do something else, so you can't complain when things like that are happening, but yes, I'm probably home 2 to 4 nights a week max.
Wow.
But yeah, it's not just me. I mean, everyone's doing it.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone's probably.
What's the plan? Is it to maybe where do you spend most of your time, London or Scotland?
Most of my time's in 50-50 between London and Glasgow.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So then you need 2 of you, basically, didn't you?
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
It would be really good.
My wife would hate it. Right
I know.
Now.
So yeah. So my missus, if I'm away for a night, she's like, she freaks out.
That's tough. I've got a 2-year-old and she's 6 months pregnant as
wow.
well. So
okay. Yeah.
I'm getting the neck.
Okay. So we definitely need to find you someone in London because you're hiring, aren't you?
Yes.
So anyone out there, if you are looking for a job, we'll plug that at the end anyway. But right. So for the benefit, I mean, obviously you're quite active on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Before we move into that, guys, can we just pull the microphone round and make sure that Ryan is able to speak directly into it? Yeah, that's perfect.
My fault. I was moving it
just
away.
speak directly into it.
Like this?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
You can lift it up if you want. You can make yourself comfortable.
Man, this is like
it's fully adjustable.
This is fancy stuff.
That's it.
That's fixed my posture and everything on here. Okay, I am here. I'm in.
So, for the benefit of everyone out there, obviously, most of our network is the same because we're in the recruitment industry. However, for the benefit of people who don't know you out there, tell them who you are, what you do, and your story.
Okay, so I'm Ryan McCabe, CEO of Odro. We're a video interview platform. I believe from the data we got 2 weeks ago, we're the fastest growing and have the most recruitment agencies in the UK. That's our main focus is working with recruitment agencies. So we help them get more retained and exclusive business. So that's what we're doing. We are based in Glasgow. We're just about to open in London, and after a couple of successful trips to New York, we're hopefully going to be opening there in the next few months.
How did your journey start? So how did you get to this point where you're the fastest growing video platform for recruitment in the world?
A lot of fucking up. Can you say that?
Yeah, of course you can say whatever you want.
So we've we tried everything. We're a video platform. Like Odro stands for Online Dispute Resolution Organisation. So we did not start in recruitment. I know. So it was a legal platform.
Wow.
It was to resolve disputes online, so you didn't have to meet a lawyer or go to litigation. You would meet people online, resolve your dispute, so like a divorce or something else, and then it would save you paying all that money to go to court and things like that. But the legal market wasn't ready. This was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
The legal market's still not ready. So I didn't start the company. When I came into Odro, it was Bill and Mark. So they were just trying to get that off the ground, and the tech was fantastic, but there was just no traction.
Yeah.
So when I met the guys, I had to sit down with them and went, right, what do we do here? It's not really commercialising at all, it's just really good tech, but I noticed that the video itself was unbelievable. And I'm an ex-recruiter, so when I saw it, I thought, man, if I could send videos to my clients, they would not interview the wrong people. They would not come in and say, oh, that's not who I thought it was, or that CV was really good, but the candidate wasn't. All that stuff would just be done. So I thought, right, let's just give it a go. And I literally one day went home to my wife and said, I'm binning absolutely everything I'm doing, and I'm going to go into business with the guys at Odro.
Amazing.
Here we are, man.
Are they still in the business?
Oh, yeah. But no, I was I tell you, 3's the magic number. in any business. That's what I've learned anyway, because I've been in field partnerships in business before, and it's because there's three of us, we all bring something different to the party. So like I'm 28, right, and I'm the guy that's got the energy, and I'm the sales guy, and I'm the kind of bullish one, and I want to make things happen, whereas Bill is 64, and Bill is like, you know, an ex kind of bank manager, and like kind of slows it down. He's a lot more knowledgeable at the financial side of things, like the corporate finance, than I am. So he's great for kind of working that side out, and then Mark is the wizard that built all of this. So the three of us play a good part, you know.
Amazing. So tell me a bit more about this platform. So why can't I use Skype? Why can't I just Skype my candidates?
Well, if the whole point in this is making it really easy, so there's loads of differences, right? But the first one is that you record it straight from the browser, right? So you don't need an app or a password or a PIN code or any of that nonsense. You just need to go to your candidate, tell them to click a button on your website, and they're online. When they're there, you can record it. So you can record questions from your client, and then once you've got that recording, say like 3-4 minutes, send it straight to your client within seconds. Like you've got a link, go and send it. So all of that, you know, being fastest finger first basically is what allows you to take it to the next step.
Amazing. And what would you say is the plan in terms of tech? So everything's moving video. Everything is moving video, and you know that, and that's why your business is so successful. So you think about the future. What's the plan for video tech? What's going to be the future of video? Because it's not just going to be in this stationary place, right? You're going to have to.
No, it's going to evolve.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I mean, I really don't know. So you've got so we focus on like competitors, right? So we look at, and you know, HireVue, for example, right? It's a competitor based in the States has got $100 million investment, right?
Yeah.
They're focusing on AI and machine learning. That's where everyone's going. So where video is going to be is probably going to go there, because that's where all the capital is going to push it that way. I mean, for us, we've already been approached by people that can bolt that into our system already. AI over video. So I think it's where video is going in general is a wider subject, but in recruitment, people in, you know, I don't know, 5-7 years are going to start to want this machine learning, this, you know, kind of micro expressions, and if your pupils dilate your lie. And right now, I just want to focus on getting HD videos so you can tell they've got pupils rather than if they're dilating or not. Because I think that's why we're doing really well, because we're focusing on getting the basics that you need.
Yeah, that's it.
And getting it right.
And so this focus. So when you decided to go, right, I'm going into the recruitment industry, how did it start? So where did you go first, and how long ago was this?
How long ago was it? Just under 2 years ago, maybe. And I basically just picked up the phone to a recruiter, and that was literally how it started. It was like, you know, this is something we do. We just said that, you know, because I was an ex-recruiter, I could tell them what you could say on a business development call and how you can get a candidate on, and that was the sort of start of it. So we won one client, and then we put it in there, and it didn't work, and we're going, okay, why did it not work? The tech looks a hell of a lot different today than it did 2 years ago. So you just have to start working out where, you know, what features are going to actually work, or what features are just there. Like for example, for us just now, if we put AI in, none of our customers would care. So we would spend, you know, millions building this thing. Nobody would care. So we need to focus on the stuff that people do care about. So it was literally just about, okay, we've put it in, what didn't work, why didn't it work, finding a couple of customers that even though they've maybe fallen out, or not fallen out, but they're not using you anymore, finding out why, and then just building it. That's
and
how
so
we start to get
how often are you guys doing these sort of product iterations? You know, because
every Sunday we do a release.
Really?
No, they're not major. You know, like just sometimes it might be it's just it might be bug fixes, but it might be a major release. We've got one coming just now, which is going to completely, I believe, will be the world's first to do it.
Are you able to say?
No, I can't do it right now.
Just give us a. When's it launching?
That's why I can't say it, because.
Is it this Sunday?
No, it's not this Sunday.
Oh.
No. So we're about, maybe, I don't know, could be 4 or 5 weeks away from it. Could be more.
Very exciting.
But that's why I can't say anything, because we need to get into beta. But when it's there, it's things like that will just be, oh, you know, Sunday's just a couple of bug fixes. On Sunday, oh, we're going to change this text. And then Sunday, it's like, oh my God, there you go.
Exactly.
No, now it's holograms. It's not.
You're bringing Tupac back.
Pretty much.
You can interview anyone you want from history. That would be cool. Why didn't you do that?
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Like, call Tupac.
Fuck the business now.
That's it. No, just go back to the 1970s. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be really cool. I think that'd be great. Or you could do on the 1st of April. You could actually do a April Fool's Odro call. Maybe it's Tupac who's come back from the dead. Because there is a
Can you make
conspiracy.
me a video for that? And we could like just superimpose it. Can we like work together on this?
Well, I mean,
This is a
actually,
collab.
Dan, who was just in here a minute ago, he's a VR editor.
Done.
So he does
There we
virtual reality. So maybe we could do that. But then we probably need you know those suits that you Gollum.
Oh, little ball things on
Yeah,
there?
exactly.
Let's-
Or we could just interview Gollum.
we could do
That's
that.
that.
Aye.
Cool. So tell us about the biggest challenges, because you guys, you know, I don't know if you can say the numbers that you were saying when we come in about how many recruitment agencies you have. Go on,
Yes,
how many do
over,
you have
100, over 150 now.
So that's 150 people or recruitment agencies who are utilising your service. How many people is that?
I'm working on that because we used to share users. So
Yeah.
we used to let people like buy a cheap license and share users. We don't do that anymore. But
Yeah.
so to get a true number, I would guess real users that are active like monthly, I'd guess 2,500 or something.
And so how do they implement it? Is it all on their bandwidth? So whose servers does it go on?
So it happens on ours.
On your server? Wow,
Yeah.
great.
So it's on. We'll store the recordings for them as well, and we'll give them a lot of storage for like pennies.
And so what does that mean for them if they're, say, you know, they're worried about this GDPR shit?
Oh, we've got everything tied in, so we can just give them
It's
what
great
we are
though, isn't
going
it?
to do.
It's a solution for them.
Oh, absolutely. But that's, I mean, we meet a lot of people that are saying they, you know, not what is GDPR, but how does this affect? They're asking us.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that are not prepared for it.
Yeah.
But we've been on it for about 9 months.
I was on the panel for GDPR. No, I was on a panel for. No, it wasn't about GDPR. I couldn't even fucking tell you the first thing about that.
Getting spelled together.
Exactly, that's it. No, I was on the panel for a talent acquisition group a couple of months ago, and there was this geezer there, and he was like, apparently he's heard, and this is probably Chinese whispers, do you know what I mean? But he's heard that there's only 2 people policing GDPR.
I couldn't tell you. The thing is, nobody actually knows what GDPR is yet. And
What
it's
is it?
due out in 6 months. I know it's 6 weeks, but I don't know. Like, well, we can. Everyone says different things. It is like Chinese whispers. There's
Yeah.
all these different guidelines and boot camps and
Yeah.
training days and all these things. No one knows. So you can just take everything that you can and then do what's practical,
Yeah.
and then try and get.
I also think it's about, you know, what it's basically, if you've got a secure site and you've got you're very transparent with the data, and you're very transparent with your opt-ins and opt-outs,
Yeah.
then I think you'll be fine. I think there you go, there's another beer there.
There
yeah.
it goes.
I think you'll be fine. I think it's all about, you know, the fact that. And also, what does it mean for you? Anyway, we're not here to talk about GDPR. I spoke about it in the last show. I'm bored of it already. Fuck's sake. So, what do you think the biggest challenges you found is, you know, just scaling up this business? Because
It's people. It's all, and I know it's cliche saying that in recruitment. It's people.
yeah,
Like you can have the best product, and you can have like everything can be the next Facebook. But if you don't have the right people behind you to actually grow it
Yeah.
and to do it themselves, you can't do it all yourself.
Yeah,
you
that's
just
it.
can't. There's no way Audra would be here where it is now
Yeah.
if it was still just me or
Yeah.
just me and incapable people. Look, it doesn't work. You need good people. That's all a business is, man.
yeah,
The
exactly.
business is just a group of good people doing good things.
Exactly.
That-
Getting together. That's
exactly. Everything else is just.
And so that's the biggest challenge you found. So what about, you know, because it's clearly sales hasn't been an issue. So what
I mean, it's not always like it. Like sales were tough at the start, like
Really?
because everyone just thinks what you asked me at the start about Skype. Is
Yeah.
like, why would they use you over Skype? The market seems, because we've been shouting about it for so long, and not just us, other players have been trying to educate the market, and it gets to a point where the market turns round a bit for it, and they
It's
go,
ripe, isn't
okay,
it?
I'm listening to hear, you know, I want to hear more now. Whereas 2 years ago we were doing this, it was like, no, we use Skype, and we couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, and even though we're good at saying it now, but we had to learn as we went
Exactly.
on how you explain to someone why you would get these benefits.
Yeah, that's it.
So-
And also, I've seen your system. I love that it's just a link, and it's like there's no downloading any bloody.
No.
I mean, even in this office, I've got to download a fucking drive to access
get it
that
online.
to
Aye.
get to access the printer, and it's fucking it's bollocks. Yeah, exactly. You got to have an app for it. So yeah, I think the more we move away from that, and that's why I think your platform really works, is because it's just you just get a link, and you can just click on a link, and there you're ready to go.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
no-
we had this
no-
philosophy of like as little clicks as possible, and we went through hell. I didn't personally, but the tech team did, because I couldn't program anything. But the tech guys went through hell trying to get just one click out the system. And it's not all. I just want to caveat that, like, not all developers can do that. They want
Yeah.
to just get to a point where they say, right, okay, this makes this happen, and that's us.
Yeah.
Whereas our team are brilliant, you know, Mark and Vic and other Mark, is because they would take a step back and go, right, how does that feel to do? Does that feel as that? Yeah, it's user experience, but these guys aren't UX. I mean, we don't have UX, we don't have UI.
Yeah.
We literally have developers, 3 developers that go, right, okay, let's make this look good.
Yeah. But that's empathy, isn't it? So that you know, we a lot of people speak about this, and I think you don't really need to be UX, these sort of buzzwords, but I think it is just about having empathy for the user.
Exactly.
So what are they doing on this platform? How do we get them there as seamless as possible?
Yeah.
And I think I mean it's people underestimate, even with us building a tech product, people underestimate the power of simplicity.
Yeah. Well, that's it. See, when you're talking about empathy, and I'm talking about getting good people as well.
Yeah.
Like, I would hang my hat on saying we're the only one in our industry, but probably in the UK, our account manager and customer support is our tester, because Megan speaks to clients and says, how are you finding it? Is it okay? And if they tell a problem, she goes, right, so that's how they use it. I'm going to go and test the system in that manner, rather than an approved tester to go in and go through the protocols of testing. Like, it doesn't. Whereas, so that's where we've done really well, and that the system's kind of developed with the user in mind, like properly with the user in mind. Yeah.
So you're scaling now. So you're opening up a London office.
Yep.
Congratulations on that. That's amazing. Mate. So second office, is that second office?
Second, yeah.
Second office, and then you've got New York coming very, very soon.
Yeah. So
you went to New York. I saw that you went to New York on LinkedIn. I saw the video. Great in Times Square. Was it nice? Was you just by yourself?
Yeah, I just went myself. So I went out on a Tuesday night. I got back on a Sunday night.
Great.
I literally just got on the phone, got on LinkedIn, and just tried to line up demos with.
So you went out there and you just fucking. So this is really good, because a lot of people out there be going, well, how do I start my own business, or how do I go about it? And I think also you've got to have that sort of sales mentality. Like
you've got to go and get it. Like, you've literally just got to pick up the phone and go. Like, it's hard. Like, it's scary.
Yeah.
If it's your first time, and you're going to go, all right, okay. What I'll do is I'll research the market for another 2 weeks. Like, just nothing's going to happen. Like, go out, pick up the phone, send a message, just go and do it.
Yeah.
So New York was cheap. It was I say this, you may want to cut this out. It was cheap flights, right? And it was like, right, okay, we want to do the States, and then I looked at the time differences, and I was like, right, well, I can't handle West Coast right now, but we could certainly put on a bit of a later night and cover the Eastern time. So we looked at looked at New York and found cheap flights, and I booked them. Yeah. And then was like, well, we better get some meetings. That's the only way that we could actually push us, because we've spoken about it for so long.
So do you feel like, and this, now I'm going into a bit more, because I'll tell you what, I'll give you some context. So when I want to do something, I'm like, I just do it in my head. I'm like, right, that's done. I'm going to do it. And I just literally go and do it. I don't plan anything. I don't put a strategy in place. I'm like, this is the goal. Mm-hmm. So at the start of the year, we've said we wanted to put recruitment on the blockchain. Yep. And that's at the start of the year, by the end of 2018. And we're well on our way to doing that now. It's only because I just had the thought that I want to do this.
Yeah, the first thing you did was sort of pick up the phone to a blockchain guy and go,
how
exactly.
Do I do this? The first thing is start attracting these types of people. So do you feel like you have to have the mentality of, I need to set this goal? And I think Conor McGregor talks about it a lot. He's like, if you could see it first, then you can do it. So do you feel there's a power in seeing yourself doing that? And then do you think that impacts how well you can actually do it? Or do you feel it's just fucking get on with it?
I don't know. I mean, genuinely, if it's me, I've learned a lot. So remember I told you about like my business partners, right? So my business partner Bill's 64, right? And I'm very, very fast and bullish, and he's not. He's very slow and reserved, and he's going, right, okay, let's think about this. And so at the start, when him and I went into business, I was like, rah, 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 and he was like, kind of, and he knows this because we've spoken about it. Like, we used to just not get on, used to rub each other up the wrong way, but we both knew we needed each other at some point.
Yeah, does it sound familiar, guys?
But now when you're like, so when I want to get something done now, I'll probably go like the first 1 or 2 steps, I'll go and do it myself, and I'll go and try and find something out, and as soon as I hit something, then I'll go back to Bill and I'll go, right, okay, so here's what I've done, here's where it is, and then we kind of just have a chat about it outside of that, if you know what I mean, to say, right, okay, well, here's maybe a better way to do it. So just honestly bouncing off of people like that for me.
But you're right though, that sounding board is so important. I think you need to be able to have the people that keep you in check as well, because I'm like an ideas person, and I'm like, right, we're going to go do this. Mike said to me, I'm so impatient earlier. Didn't you, Mike? Mike, He was like, I'm so impatient because I just want to get stuff done.
Yeah.
Literally just, I'm like, right, I'm going to do it. And I try and do it myself. And I can do it half-assed.
Yeah.
And Mike can do it amazingly. But I'd just rather just get it out because I'm so impatient. But actually, it's better to be patient. Sounding bored off these guys. So I think we're getting to the point where we're talking about this teamwork piece. And you've got some great people. So Dougie, tell me about Dougie.
He's a great lad. He's brilliant, honestly. Because when Dougie joined us, he had 4 years in recruitment, and when I met him, it was like, right, okay, he's wanting to come out of recruitment just because he was tired of just the recruitment cycle. There's so many moving parts being a recruiter, right? So there's like candidates can let you down, clients can let you down, dates can move, and you can't control that.
No. So
he was just getting tired of that and really run down. But by God, Dougie got an engine, like he can work. And that's like me, like that's what I want to see, and that's what, you know, if I know that people around about me are doing that, then we'll do everything we can to help. So Dougie's came from there just being, and he won't mind me saying this, just a run of the mill, and he says this himself, an average biller in recruitment, and because he's just put the work in, and he's got the talent, and he's got the engine behind it, he's now business manager for agency. He's in New York, we're from Glasgow, so he's in London all the time, he's in Manchester today, he's in Nottingham yesterday, he was in Stratford-upon-Avon, like he travels, like, but that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, sure.
So so he's come on a long way.
That's great.
And everybody's proud to kind of look back and look at things like that, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
Look where Dougie's came from.
Because you're part of something, aren't you? I think you guys are creating something, and you do. Even us, we were speaking today around building something, and it's about that work. So Dougie he shows it as well. He shows it on all his posts. And how much? And this actually leads me on well into my next question is, how much do you think as companies, brands, do we need to be broadcasting shit on LinkedIn, or broadcasting what we're doing on Instagram or Facebook? Like, because it seems to work really well for you. It works really well for me. You know, it's social. But for people out there, you know, do you think it's necessary?
It's everything we've done. So it might surprise people because I know other people in our industry do it differently. We don't cold call. Like everyone in our industry selling rec tech cold calls recruitment agencies and says, do you want to buy my stuff? We don't do that. We've taken our time, we've put stuff out on LinkedIn. We've not. If you look at all of my LinkedIn posts, or Dougie's LinkedIn posts, or Megan, or anyone's, then you look at them, we don't sell Audro, we talk about what we do, who we are, what we're trying to build. And we maybe talk along the way about, we were just in seeing this customer and they've now done this with it. Yeah. But it's not like, you know, buying a stuff,
transactional,
which is what everyone is doing. So I think social is massive, and there's so many people that are using it wrong. Like they're genuinely just thinking, I'll just post stuff, it's fine. That's all you do. Using LinkedIn just means posting funny pictures. No, it doesn't. Exactly. Like, you need to get traction, engagement, and just tell a story.
Exactly, and the good thing about your content is that it always leads back to what you're doing. So even even the sense of humour that you have online, where I saw a post to when it snowed, and you were like, you know, don't go into the office, use Audro to interview.
Snowmageddon. It was a nightmare. But I also think a big part of that is showing your personality. So a lot of people do, so if you're building a business and they see this Gary Vaynerchuk, they see all these types of things and they go, right, okay, you need a personal brand and you need to be a guy, you need to be a face. There's no reason that there can't be 20 faces in the company. It doesn't need to be the CEO that's got to feel like Dougie has his own personality, like Sophie and Megan are encouraged to go and put their own stuff online and build their own following. It's not just about building something for Audro. It's a really good thing. See if something happens and Dougie decides that he wants to go and do his own thing after Audro. Dougie's built a personal brand of Dougie, not of Audro. And that's right. And I think that's what the building something for the business is all about. It's not about building a business that benefits the shareholders. I mean, it is, but it's also about building a business that benefits the people that are in it. It benefits them personally, not just in a financial sense, but it can do other things for them.
So how would you describe the culture at Audro then? So obviously everyone's travelling, or most people are travelling, right? So how would you describe the culture in the office?
I don't know.
Because do you feel like you can have a solid culture if you're all travelling so much?
Oh yeah, so you can. I mean, we all we realised that we weren't really socialising as much as we kind of wanted to kind of build that culture that everyone talks about. Culture's something that develops, and I don't know how you describe it. Like, I don't know where to start describing a culture. Like, we all talk regularly. We all have similar senses of humour. Like, the rule for getting into Audro is, do we all trust you? Do we all respect you, and can we have a laugh? Like, and if we can do that, then, you know, if you get the experience, the rest is going to fall into place. So
and you're hiring at the moment, aren't you?
London.
So tell us, give a shout out for what you're hiring for right now, and then we'll go back into the questions.
A doogie for London. Does that make sense?
What do they look like? What are these people? What am I going to get if I work for Odro?
Well, to give you an idea, if you're sitting right now in recruitment and you've had 12 grand fall off the board in the last week that you knew you were banking on because some candidate's wife has said no or some candidate's husband has said no, and you've been picking up the phone and you've said to them, you've said to your client, can I recruit for you? And you've said, you're the 7th person to phone me this week, get off my phone. If this is getting to you, it doesn't mean you're a bad salesperson. It doesn't mean that you're bad at what you do. The knowledge in recruitment, the knowledge that you've learned from working in an agency can be transferred to a company like ours, because you can go in there and you can speak to people who are in your position and say, I've done what you did, I know how we can make it better. This video product is going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. So people that want to do that and want to bring people on, you need to want to build other people up.
Absolutely. Guys, we're hiring too, so I'll just second that.
One of them.
I'll have the same thing he's having.
But that's it, and that's the big thing for us. It's about making it, it's just about getting people on that understand industry.
So let's talk about this industry we're in. A lot of the conversations I'm doing with, on these talks is around recruitment, but it never gets old because obviously everyone has a different opinion. So I'd like to know from your opinion, as a ex-recruiter and also a supplier now to the industry, what do you think the state of the industry is?
It's mixed. Like, I genuinely think it's really mixed. So there are really, really good recruiters out there that are recruitment businesses that will do a service, but you'll pay for it. It's so polarising. Like, you've got people that you'll go in and speak to, and then you'll say, so this will replace the telephone interview, and they'll go, oh, we don't telephone interview anyone. So what do you do? Oh, we just forward CVs. And I go, right, you openly admitting that, like and you're charging $7,000 a placement, and all you've done is found a CV on CW Jobs and forwarded it. Like, what are we doing? So do
they buy your service, those guys?
No, they don't, because it's an added step in the process. They have to actually give value. Is that all about? I mean, they're not interested in spending any more time they need to. So, like, everyone that buys our product is genuinely because they care about what the client gets at the end of it, and they see what they're paying for. Yeah. So that's the genuinely, it's always so polarising with the industry.
So in terms of, it's polarising. So we've got a mix of, the people that genuinely care about a candidate experience or a client experience. That's why they're investing in a product like yours, because it's something that is added value, isn't it? That's what it is. It's added value to our clients, and
it's adding quality to the process. So, to give you an example, right? A recruitment agency that doesn't have Odro sends an email with 5 CVs on it. You don't know if they've met them, telephone interviewed them, given nothing. They've just got 5 CVs. A customer that uses Odro sends one link that they click, and when they click that link, there's 3 videos or 5 videos with a CV sitting next to the video that they can play it all back. They can comment on. They can send it back. Like, they've done the work. Do you know what I mean? Everything's there, so the quality you give to that client at the end of it makes you stand out from the crowd. So unless you want to do that, don't buy Odro.
Have you heard of? What's the sort of general feedback from clients then on the product? So from the client side of the point, not your recruitment agency side of you, but
so that's the bit. We never lose that. So the only time we have had that issue is when we've had to go through a system that's already in place for like. A multinational.
Taleo,
right? So they go, oh no, we can't.
That is a system, isn't it?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Do you do integration?
Still built on Flash.
It's horrendous, honestly. But it's just hard to integrate with. So these sorts of big businesses, that's the only thing that stops us. That's the only bad news that we get from a client.
Yeah, and that is the archaic side of things, isn't it, within recruitment? So let's go back to the recruitment industry.
Okay.
So what about these people who say recruitment is dead? So or the recruitment agent is dead.
I can get what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to say you don't need to pay $10,000 a guy anymore or $10,000 a girl anymore. I get because tech can enable it. Is the industry dead? No, because the ones that are good provide a lot more value than sending a CV. Right now, the people that say that think they're paying $10,000 for a CV.
Yeah.
That's the people. They don't understand that the work that goes in, the investment that goes in. The amount you would spend, even in job boards, for example, just to have access to these candidates, they don't get it. So.
And I've seen that you're running some events yourself now, workshops.
Yeah.
Workshops, events. What do you call them?
I don't know yet. They're the first ones we've done. It's just about teaching recruiters how to get retained business.
And so, do you think the industry is moving that way? Do you think?
I think it should. I think that because you're contingent, you're focused on generating sales. Yeah. If you had got the sales at the start of the month, you can spend the rest of the month filling the jobs. But right now, because you, as a client, you're making 5 recruitment agencies fight against a $4,000 fee. That what happens at the end of the month? They don't have that. Then you've got a guy there that's got the wages to pay at the end of the month with nothing to cover them. So if they're retained, it gives a bit more respect to the industry. They get treated better. The agency gets treated better. And it kind of it gets rid of the nonsense, that's for sure. You're going to get rid of the CV throwers. Yeah. You're only going to get the ones that actually give you the value.
And so, if I'm doing what would be the objections from the industry around doing a retained business?
It's just because no one else. Because why would I spend money with you when everyone else will do it for nothing unless they get a good guy? Exactly. It's like no win, no fee. Like that's ruined the insurance industry and the legal industry. So it's just doing the same in recruitment.
And do you think that with regards to the recruitment industry, do you think that people are wanting to be recruiters? Like
everyone fell in it, didn't they? Nobody ever said, I'm leaving school, I'm going to be a recruiter. I certainly didn't. I went to be an engineer and I fucked that up. So I would just, it would be good if it did, because it is a good industry. Like you can do good work in the recruitment industry. Yeah. But it's not something that there's no courses on it. There's no leave school and go and be a recruiter. It is more of a backup job, and I think it would be good if that mentality changed.
So how would but the thing is, like, how would you change that mentality? Like
retained business.
To go to.
Because if think about it, if you did, then you wouldn't have the double glazing salesman type mentality of 350 quid flat fee, and I'm going to just get CVs. That you're not going to get any quality for that level. Yeah. So I think if you had retained, for example, it's a $5,000 fee, and you said, right, okay, give me $2,000 up front, and this will secure me to do this work, and then the rest of it can be paid in stages as we achieve milestones. Yeah, that's the way everyone else works.
It really is, isn't it? It's like it's the same as like doing design work or websites.
Exactly.
Or building products. Exactly. It's the same. You give us a deposit. Mm-hmm. We'll go and do the work. We'll go because the thing is, even if you think about these strategy companies too. What they do is just market research. Yeah. But aren't recruitment agencies doing that anyway? They're doing market research. Absolutely. They're finding first what's the market saying, but it is turned on its head. And I mean, I think even I think also from a director, from an old school recruitment agency director, the ones we were talking about earlier who don't add value, I think even doing that, doing retained business is probably something they don't want to do also, because it takes a lot more time.
You need to give a lot more value. Yeah. And if you don't have the tools to put the value in, I'm not plugging Audro, right? I mean, like,
no, of course.
If you've not got a team of people who are skilled enough to get the most out of a candidate interview, you can't offer retained business because you don't have the skills in house to be able to do it. All you've got is 30 guys that can just look on a job board and send CV or send mailers out to say, give me, your role for 10 days and I'll fill it. All these silly sales tactics.
And what do you think the future holds for Audro? So, like, as I said, you're focusing right now. We know that you're focusing right now on just making it easy as possible for people to have high quality video CVs or video interviews.
Yeah. So this is where the video CVs thing is where I think that video interviewing hasn't taken off as well as it should, because you're never going to get rid of a CV. I don't think so. Video CVs implies that the CV's been replaced. It's not. The CV's got to be next to the video, because you skim the CV first, then you decide from because you can skim a CV in, what would they say, 30 seconds or something, like 5 seconds a recruiter spends on it, whatever it is. You've got that filter. You don't want to you're not going to get rid of that filter, because if you do, you're going to be watching video interviews of gardeners wanting to be tech developers. Like, it doesn't work. So you need a video CV. Every time someone says video CV, I'm like, no, you get it all wrong. It needs to be, it's a video interview after the CV.
Do you think it's got to be an interview or a pitch?
Well, it's both, because an interview just implies you're asking questions, but you got to pitch yourself and you're answering the questions.
And the reason I'm asking that is because in our platform, as we spoke about before, I'm building in a 60-second pitch into the profiles, right? So you go on to, Mike's working on something. Mike, I don't know if you can show anything, we can't show it right now, but Mike's, basically our profiles I'll show you afterwards. You see the skills, they mark themselves out of 10, and then underneath there's reviews of this candidate, so everyone can be reviewed. So even as a professional, I can be reviewed. Yeah. You could be reviewed. Someone's got to be the top CEO in the video space. Someone's got to be the top CEO in the social media space. And so we're creating that that competitiveness. But we're also adding in there 60-second pitch, which is just like someone filming themselves. It's nothing complicated. It's just filming myself and saying, "Hi, I'm Antonio."
Aye, so we do these things called solo interviews, right? Where it's just like you just write questions on a screen, and it's more of a we call them screening rather than interviews.
Yeah.
Because you put questions on the screen, they answer them because the clients put them up there. But the last question is always, is there anything you want to add? That's what that is. It's literally like, right, you've got 60 seconds to just pitch yourself and add anything else. If it's a job you're really passionate about doing, or it's a sales job or a marketing job or something that requires you to be outgoing, that's the point. Like the rest of the questions can be technical, right? It can be like, how do you code in .NET? Or I don't know what good question to what that would be, but you can ask technical questions on video and then watch how someone answers it. If it's not succinct and it's stumble and things, a bit like I'm doing in this interview,
No, you do a fantastic job.
then you get, you can
I'm stumbling. I'll be stumbling after this beer. I've got a third one.
Me, cancel the rest of my meetings. But yeah, so I just the pitch thing's brilliant, and I genuinely think so. We do it right. So see when we go in and train people, and everyone like competitors are going to steal this, and it's fine. It's up there. But basically, what we do, right?
So Ryan, I think that within you can have competitors. Absolutely, but no one can do it as good as you guys. Even HireView, and I've seen them all. I've seen your platform. I've seen HireView. I used to use HireView. I've used other competitors, which you won't name. I've seen their platforms, and they are literally terrible. Yeah. And well, not terrible. I wouldn't say terrible. They're just not user friendly.
Yeah.
They perform the task you can perform. You can do the interview. Absolutely, you can get the questions add in there. You can add all the stuff that you need, but the experience that you get there. So it's the same as like if I use an Apple iOS, or if I use another OS, which maybe takes me a bit longer to perform the task. It's a lesser. It's an impact on my experience with that device.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I feel with your platform is that the user experience, even if you have competitors, they can't really match your user experience. The big
thing we've learned, as much as the tech's better and like all that kind of, I wouldn't plug us, right? But what I'm trying to say is, we've learned a lot more because we work with a lot more agencies than anyone else. So we've got the data, we've got the experiences there that we can say. The biggest thing that's helped us with our growth is being able to refer to current clients, people that have renewed with us, year after year, or people that have said, we've won 50 grand of retainers from 600 quid a month. Like all these things that we can say, okay, you're a new customer, you're unsure, I get it. Here's 30 customers that use it that have told us if anyone needs an intro to speak to them, and we do that every single day.
It's amazing.
Every single day.
And so you're big on network, aren't you?
Massive.
So you are a massive believer in the power of network, and I see that in you. So what would you say to people? What would be the biggest lesson you've learned as a business owner, or a CEO of business?
Don't know. Like,
so do you? Because I think so. No, sorry, I'm not even letting you answer the question. So I think so. From my perception, your travel, your dedication to what you do comes through, right? Yep. And do you think it comes through online?
I hope so. Right?
It absolutely comes through. You can see the ones who are doing out there, and I hope so that my stuff comes across too.
Yeah, it does,
always being active. The thing is though, what would you say that people just think is quite an easy life, this life of an entrepreneur?
I think they maybe look at it as glamorous. Like, and sometimes it is, right? Sometimes you get a little perk. I was in New York a couple of weeks ago, and then for the first 2 days it was like, holy shit, I'm in New York. Like, what's this all about? But then it got to Sunday morning. I got kicked out of my hotel at 10 o'clock. My flight wasn't until 11 o'clock at night. I hadn't seen my wife and my kids in, a week. And I was like, I don't like this. Is this actually for me, all this travel, and what do I want to do? And it gets really tough because I haven't seen them. And, missing your family is quite a big thing.
Yeah, sure.
Personal guarantees on everything you're doing. Trying to build a business is also another. So like all this stress, making sure people's wages are paid at the end of the month, and all these things build up on you. So it is swings and roundabouts. I'm not gonna plead poverty and say that it's the hardest thing in the world, right? Because I love what I do, and I don't know who the famous person that said the quote, but it's like, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And that I genuinely believe that.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about like, what's one of the biggest things I've learned doing it. One of the things is probably being able to build up other people, that trying to help other people achieve what they want. You will get what you want. You just need to help other people along the way, and that brings you back to networking as well. So like, I used to go to any networking event going. Right now, we've picked up some traction. We narrowed down on exactly who we want to help, so we don't need to go to these networking events here and there just to meet random people. But the biggest thing about networking is helping other people. So see if you speak to someone and you think, oh, they could help from, they could, she'd be really good for him or he'd be really good for her. Introduce them for nothing. Just do it. Just help them out because it will come back to you.
Yeah.
So, and that is, that's how I met my business partner, Bill, was just people introducing me just because they thought we would get on.
Yeah.
And so I firmly believe, and that's what I do as many times as I can. If I think there's something that someone else needs to know, then I'll give them the heads up on it, or I'll give them an introduction to someone else.
You'll just give that value, and that's
away.
That's absolutely amazing. So,
but everyone should do it. It's not like everyone should help each other out first. Don't wait for someone to help you first. Just give it.
Exactly. I think that is it, and I think that in a personal strategy, and also for even a social media strategy, is where we go to. We're just like, let's just give content away. Let's just give. So we're writing guides. It takes us ages to write guides. Yeah. We're writing these guides. It takes us ages to write them. It takes Mike ages to design them. We're just giving them out. We're just like, here you go, have them. Yeah. But the point is that you become known for this information. You become the
like an authority on it.
Yeah, sort of like, here's this information.
Yeah. But then we want something else, they're probably going to come back and speak to you and say, well, these guys know about
That's it. They know
social,
about social, they know about video.
Yep.
Absolutely. So there was this, what are you laughing at? Here's this information.
Can I have the thing, whatever you're giving me? Can I have it? Is it another beer?
So there was this study done, and it was, I don't know if you read the book called The Psychology of Persuasion. No. So I don't know who the author is, but I've read the book. Well, a little bit of the book. I get bored. I sort of
I've read the book, audiobook, 10 minutes in the car.
I sort of
another one to the collection.
I sort of read about like a third of the book. I'm like, I get where this is going.
Done. Got that shit to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Recruitment of the blockchain.
Exactly.
Man, books.
Whoever said you'll never be lonely when you have a book, they're fucking lying.
Liars. Absolute liars.
So yeah, this book is great. It's all about sort of it's all about a bit of basically when you people in humans, we are all the same, right? So there are certain, if you do something or you act a certain way or you touch someone in certain places, they'll do certain things. So it's like the psychology of people. It's like basically we all have ingrained in us specific actions when other actions are performed on us.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, the Buddhists who, they stand around the sort of centre of London and they'll like give you a free book when you walk by. Right. They're like, this is a gift. Yeah. They say, this is a gift. Yeah. And then you take the book and they're like, oh, but would you mind donating? What they did was a study, and it was in an airport in America, and it was basically, they had these like plants, lotus flowers maybe, I don't know specifically what it is from the book, but they had these flowers and they were giving them away. They just went and picked them and they were giving them away, saying, oh, here's a gift from the monastery or whatever, their terminology they used. And every time they said, oh, but can you give a donation, the people who took the gift, they were more likely to give more. They feel obliged to it. And the same thing, and they did another study in the book, and it was all around. They sort of staged this study in Harvard where they basically got a load of people in to come and do what they thought was a drawing study. But the person in the room, who was the stage person, the assistant, halfway through the study, he said, oh, I'm just going to go out, I'll be back in a second. Got 2 cans of Coke, brought them back, gave one to the person without them asking for it. And every person who they gave the can of Coke to, at the end of it, they donated more money to the cause than the other people. So it's like,
it was more than a can of Coke as well.
So, exactly. So what I'm trying to say is that we, as humans, we feel, and this is not why you're giving value, by the way. I'm not saying give value so that people give back to you. But if you start giving more than you get, people will eventually come and they will give you more for what you do, right? Absolutely. And that's the sort of that's the long-winded way of me saying that, basically.
You do a bit of fast-forward animation through that. I've got a beard. Just Photoshop it on at the end of the day.
So you went.
Sorry. Wrong guy to come on here.
No, it's great. This is great. So you went to, how many expos do you do a year? Like as a
so we've only just started doing them, believe it or not. Like, seriously, the first expo, we want recruitment agencies, so we did the Recruitment Agency Expo for the first time in January. Poor Sophie. Sophie just started with us on her first day, and it's like, oh, where do you want me to go today? London. All the way from Glasgow to go to an expo, selling a product you don't know with people you don't know.
Yeah.
So, but that was what we did at the end of January. So we did that one.
How valuable was it?
It was great. We've already kind of, I don't know the number if I'm honest, but I'd guess we've maybe got, I don't know, 6-7 clients off it anyway.
Right.
So it's definitely worth it for us. So we'll be doing it again. But now you're going to have them watching this, and they're going to be coming on doubling the prices now because I'm going to go do it again because it was great. That's the only real expo we could do. We tried other ones for different markets, but we just need to niche down. Well, that's another thing I've learned. But the business thing, like, you just got to focus on one thing. Don't try and do two. Like, just do one and do it really, really well, and it will come. So we're not really interested in doing other events. That's why we're going to create our own. We're going to do these retained masterclasses and just try and network with other businesses. To bring them in, we'll train them for free on how to do the retained business. But it's
so these events are free for people to come to?
No, so we give away 10 free tickets, and then it's £750 a ticket after that.
That's a lot. That's a lot, isn't it?
Oh, but think of the money you're going to make, man. Like, one retained fee will cover you for like 10 retained masterclasses.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So,
I mean, you're going to do quite well out of that.
I don't know yet. We've only sold out one. We'll see if it goes again.
You've sold out one?
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, you're going to do well.
So,
fantastic.
We've got one in London and one in Manchester. So the London one's sold out. The Manchester one's got two spaces left. That's
brilliant. That's really good. And so you come to this workshop and you can learn everything you need to know around retained.
So it's not just an Audro sales pitch.
No, of course.
Like, I mean,
absolutely,
we do say that, look, yes, Audro's going to help you because offering more value will give you a reason to ask for retained or exclusive business. But you need more than that. You need a culture in your office where if someone fails for the first week trying to get retained business, everyone goes, oh yeah, this is rubbish, let's not do this again, and reverts to type. Look, there's all these different mechanisms you need to have in place so your business can start doing retained. But I mean, from a business owner's point of view, the difference that can make to how your business runs is unbelievable if you're not working on this hand-to-mouth kind of perm contingent.
And what would you say the biggest, I guess, a concern a recruitment agency could have going into the future around technology?
The biggest concern they would have, like, I don't.
What do you think the biggest thing for recruitment agencies? What's gonna be? Well, I suppose What do you think from a recruitment agency perspective? What is the biggest like automation, for instance, what is going to impact them most?
Like a threat or a...
biggest threat, say concern, threat.
So the biggest threat to recruiters and technology, I mean, the chatbots thing's okay, right? But everywhere's a candidate shop market, right? Recruitment agencies are making money in candidate shop markets. Candidates are clever. They will know it's a bot and they will not reply. You need to be really, really good at what you do to then get past that. So the bots thing could be good if it's done well. It could be a threat if it's done well. The biggest threat from technology is infrastructure in larger organisations. So see, like, I'm not going to name them, but your big companies that are still, I spoke to a company who's got more than 400 staff and no Wi-Fi in their offices.
What?
Yep, more than 400 staff. I can't remember how many offices, but a lot of offices, and no Wi-Fi in the office. And it was because everything's hardwired, everything's on thin clients that can't do anything at their desk, and so that's the biggest restrictor I can see. But it's great for small companies because they're agile, agile. You can go, right, okay, we don't have Wi-Fi in the office. Right, there's 300 quid, Mr. IT man, go and put it in, that's it, done.
Let's go to a fucking Starbucks.
Exactly. But this is where the biggest threat is actually in big legacy style businesses rather than the small guys like us. Yeah.
Great. Well, really good to speak to you. So from a final leaving thought, because I know that you've got to go to a meeting, but you've got to neck that pint before you go.
Right,
so for a final leaving thought, tell us sort of what people, if I'm looking to start my own business in the recruitment sector, what do I need to know?
As an agency or a technology?
Anything. Just looking to start a business. Because I think you're a prime example of entrepreneurship in our industry.
Get a customer then.
Get a customer in. Great.
Honestly, that's it. One.
Just one.
Don't get brochures made. You don't need them. We've not had we've still not got brochures. Like, we're literally doing what we're doing, and I made the PowerPoint brochure in my house one day, and I was like, right, we need a brochure. Right, well, I've got this PowerPoint. I'll just make one up. Like, just do it. Just get it out there. If people don't think it's right, then fix it and try again.
Yeah.
Like, it won't, if you've got a good idea or a good product, it won't take you long to get a customer. The rest
Exactly.
of the stuff is just vanity.
Exactly. And so actually, sorry, I was going to make the last question, but what about people who think they've got the Uber for ice cream?
Everyone's got the Uber for something. Everyone's got the Uber for, I don't know. Like,
so what about these people who how do you know if you've got a good product?
people buy it, people use it. Like, by the way, we used to have people buy the system and then not use it, which is terrible for a tech company. Like, buying it and then, like, we speak to businesses now that have bought tech, and then we say, oh, so what's your usage like? And they're like, oh no, we struggled to use it, we struggled to put it in. And that means, from a business point of view, you might have a really good year, but year 2 and year 3 are going to be panic stations, and you're probably not going to live. So the big thing is getting people in and actually getting them to use it. From a tech business, if somebody's got the Uber for ice cream, then I think you need a short period of time to bring clients in and then actually monitor how they use it. That's the big thing. Like, patience, man.
Great, patience. Awesome. Thanks a lot for coming on, Ryan. Really good
man.
to talk to you, buddy.
Appreciate
Really
it.
appreciate it. Great to see you again. So that was Ryan McCabe's story. Check him out on LinkedIn. His URL to his profile is going to be down below. A lot of us can learn from what Ryan's doing, purely from a personal brand point of view. I know obviously you talk about the team, Ryan, but from a personal brand point of view, you're great at building your brand. I think I saw someone the other day saying that, what was it? Someone's commented on your thing and they said you are the best marketer or something like that. I was like, clearly hasn't seen my profile.
That's like my wife. Only person that thinks that.
No, he did comment, and someone's commented on it, and that was great. You said about the don't go to the office, use Odro, and that was great. So
that was Michael Young, one of our clients. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Cheers,
no,
mate.
but like I said, you can learn a lot from Ryan, so check him out. The next show we have is going to be next week. We have a great conversation happening. A couple of weeks ago, we reached out to the LGBT community, and we wanted to find out a bit more around what it's like being a member of this community in the workplace. And so you're going to find out in the next show. So subscribe to make sure that you are updated with new episodes. Follow, obviously, Ryan, and look forward to seeing you guys next week. Cheers.